In past reviews, I've mentioned how utilizing old intellectual properties from our childhoods and then putting those mechanics into a modern indie game is a dangerous game to play. It's a monumental task to try to get right through somebody's nostalgia and capture a bit of that while also making a game that is good by modern standards. The problem that we have here, as I've mentioned before, is that everyone has these rose-colored glasses about the games of our past. So when someone tries to emulate those games and bring elements of those to the future, they have to do so with a lot of modern quality of life type updates in order to make the game feel good today, but at the same time capture that nostalgia. 30XX, which, correct me if I'm saying that wrong, but this is a Mega Man game that is trying to do exactly that. This game is emulating all of the jump and shooting and power-up mechanics that Mega Man had all through the franchise and through the Mega Man X franchise as well, and trying to put that in a modern roguelite package. So far, this game is just coming out as of today in early access, so the game isn't complete. But I have to say that what I have seen so far is phenomenal. This is exactly the angle that I think indie devs should be taking for these nostalgic type games. They've taken something that was near and dear to specifically my heart. I loved the Mega Man games as I was growing up. I played the entire series, and then later on when they came out on the Super Nintendo and they did Mega Man X, I played all those as well. Those are great games. But had the developer just tried to emulate exactly what Mega Man was by rebuilding that same structure, this game would have likely fallen flat. There are pieces of this game that are a little rough around the edges. Some of the animations and some of how the dashing mechanics work aren't exactly perfect, but there's room to grow here. What's really awesome is that they have managed to stuff all of the mechanics of a Mega Man game into a roguelite package and really make it work. What's truly amazing is, as much as this game nods to Mega Man and tries to take all of those core mechanics in, this game also feels very similar to Rogue Legacy and some of the founding roguelite games. It took foundational mechanics and design elements from both the beginning of this genre, but also the beginning of the platforming run and gun type genre, and then it smashed them together in what looks like a very promising mixture. For anyone that is familiar with both of these genres, the roguelite genre, but also the platforming shooter type genre, there's not a lot here that's going to surprise you. The roguelite elements are pretty straightforward. As you play through the various levels, you earn a couple different currencies, and both of those currencies allow you to unlock stat bonuses that will allow you to upgrade your character permanently. The levels themselves and the layout structure is fairly random. You'll jump into the portal and it'll give you a random stage with a random boss to beat. Once you beat that boss, it'll throw you into yet another random stage and boss. As you're progressing through these levels, you'll get a lot of power-ups from within the game. There is a currency that gets used only within the levels that you'll be able to use, like money, and that will allow you to buy more health upgrades that are temporary, also some speed boosts and some power boosts, and that'll allow you to scale up your character as the game gets progressively harder. Much like the Mega Man games though, every time you run into a boss, you'll fight that boss and then you'll acquire a weapon that is designed like that boss. You also have the option, once you've acquired many weapons, to start to fuse those together to create new and interesting weapons. The only thing that I found about this entire system that wasn't really great was my incentive to use the weapons was a little off. I found that there wasn't enough energy drops throughout the levels to recharge my guns if I wanted to use more of my special weapons that I got from the enemies, and so in the end, I found myself just not using the weapons hardly at all. The bosses themselves, though, overall are designed very well. They're challenging, you're gonna get hit a number of times, but they're not so challenging that they're gonna always end your runs. If you watch their patterns, they've got fairly predictable patterns. You're not gonna always be able to dodge bullets, much like a Mega Man game, but you're still gonna feel like you get some success, and you're still gonna end up walking away with a few enemy wins every single run. For those that find the game a little bit too easy though, there is a modifier system within the home base of the game where you'll be able to increase the difficulty in very specific ways, and that will increase the rewards that you get on every run. This is something that I really look forward to taking more time with, because I found that on some of my runs the game felt a little bit easy and I was able to make a lot more progress early on than I think I should. I think by balancing the difficulty mechanics a little bit, it would make me a better player of this game, but also give me more rewards that I think is a well-designed risk versus reward system. It also can't go without saying that the stage design and the enemy design in this game is top-notch. A lot of times I find when people try to remake Mega Man games, they go over the top with the platforming difficulty, and you end up with a game that's just not fun because it's more punishing than it is rewarding. Any player that practices enough with the platforming mechanics and learns the moves of all the different enemies in a particular level will see more and more success, which is a well-designed Mega Man game, but also makes for a very well-designed roguelite game. Somehow these developers and these designers have managed to take these two genres and mash them together with almost perfect harmony. I do have some very minor criticisms of the game overall. As I had mentioned previously, some of the platforming mechanics are just a little bit rough, and the dash mechanic does seem to feel like it needs a little more work. I really would have liked to have a dash mechanic that makes me feel more powerful, makes me feel like I can make the game go much faster. Currently, the dash mechanic feels a little bit flaccid. Also, the soundtrack in every single Mega Man game is always noteworthy and always has really banging tracks, and here I found the soundtrack to just be not annoying. It wasn't something that I was really getting into, it didn't make me feel particularly nostalgic, it was just there and it was okay. Aside from that, really, my only criticism is that I want to see more. I want to see more power-ups, I want to see more guns, I want to see the player be able to do a lot more things, but the great news there is today is day one of early access. That means this game is going to hopefully do much better things. However, right now on Steam, the developer has priced this out at $20. I think it's on sale for $18. It's definitely worth that for anybody that is a Mega Man fan that happens to also like roguelike games. This is a game that's probably going to go somewhere and probably going to do something big. And so if you're interested on getting in early, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do that. It's a fun game today, and it's likely to be a great game very soon. If you've liked this video, well then like this video. And if you'd like to find out about more great games that just haven't got enough attention, take a look at my channel where I specialize in finding great indie hidden gems. Thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, this has been Pixel.